Virginia General Assembly, Senate Resolution Number 7, House Resolution Number 20, designating March 28th in 2020 and in each succeeding year as James Solomon Russell Day in Virginia. Patrons, Senator Louise Lucas and Delegate Rosalind Tyler, agreed to by the Senate February 11th, 2020, agreed to by the House of Delegates January 29th, 2020. Whereas James Solomon Russell was born into slavery on the Hendrick Plantation near Palmer Springs in Mecklenburg County on December 5th, 1857. And whereas James Solomon Russell learned the value of hard work at a young age, growing up under poverty conditions with his mother on the farm. And whereas James Solomon Russell enrolled in Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute in 1874 and supported his family by working as a teacher for local children. And whereas James Solomon Russell's education was interrupted when he ran out of funds and had to return home to work on the farm, but he ultimately succeeded in receiving his teaching license. And whereas, while teaching with the Book of Common Prayer, James Solomon Russell became interested in the Episcopal Church. Patty Buford of Brunswick County recognized his talents and recommended that he attend the St. Stephen's School for Colored Missionary Training in Petersburg. And whereas James Solomon Russell built his first church in Palmer Springs while in seminary school in 1879. He was ordained in 1882 and sent to Lawrenceville to pastor a colored congregation meeting at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. And whereas in 1882, James Solomon Russell began opening schools and senior housing for the poor in the area, in addition to opening 9 new parishes. And whereas in 1888, James Solomon Russell began preparation for a higher learning institution that eventually became St. Paul's College. He started with a 2-room school called the Saul Building and helped the institution grow to a campus of 35 buildings, 50 faculty members, and 800 students. And whereas in 1893, James Solomon Russell was named the Archdeacon of the Episcopal Diocese of Southern Virginia, overseeing more than 30 churches, representing thousands of congregants. And whereas James Solomon Russell received 2 doctoral degrees and was twice selected as bishop, an appointment he declined. And whereas in 1929, James Solomon Russell was honored with the William E. Harmon Foundation's Gold Medal Award for his achievements. And whereas James Solomon Russell died on March 28, 1935, in recognition for his exceptional accomplishments as a faith leader, James Solomon Russell was canonized as a local saint by the Episcopal Diocese of Southern Virginia. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of Virginia and the House of Delegates that March 28th in 2020 and in each succeeding year be designated as James Solomon Russell Day in Virginia. And be it resolved further that the clerk of the Senate and the clerk of the House of Delegates transmit a copy of this resolution to the family of James Solomon Russell and the James Solomon Russell St. Paul's Museum and Archives, so that they may be apprised of the sense of the Senate of Virginia in this manner. And be it resolved finally that the clerk of the Senate and the clerk of the House of Delegates post the designation of this day on the General Assembly's website. James Solomon Russell Day.